Hi everybody, I would like to welcome you to another video I'm making about my Leica M-P, and this one is a little bit about what I'm not so happy about. I may have mentioned it in my previous video, like the run through the camera and the functions and the buttons and the menus. There are some things about the menus that I'm not so happy about. For instance, the fact that they basically split the menu in two. You have the real menu that you access through the menu button, and there you set most of the functions of the camera. And then there is the set menu, and that's some functions that are quite important, but they're separate from the main menu. And for many of these things, I do not really see a reason why they should be split. I understand if you have ISO settings or white balance to be accessed more quickly, but many other things are not. There's no reason for them to be separated from the main settings of the camera. That is one thing. One other thing that is not quite clear and I'm not so happy about is the exposure metering settings. Not so much the exposure metering itself, because the exposure metering is really good. So there's this new setting of the camera that you set in the menu. Let me show it to you. And that's exposure metering. It's in the it's in the light metering mode. And there's classic, advanced, and classic live view disabled. If you go to advanced, it's really a very good metering system. Even backlight situations it handles very well, but there's a problem with it. Due to the specific situation they use, and basically what they do is they let the sensor do the metering, as far as I understood, because that is separate from what you can set in the set menu, where you can define whether it's multi-field, center weighted, or spot metering. So that has nothing to do with that. It's apparently more the way the light is metered, because in the Leica you have you see, oh no, this is exactly what I was talking about. Now the sensor was exposed. I didn't want the sensor to be exposed. If you listen carefully now, for example, when I switch it on, there's a click. The click apparently means that the curtain goes up and exposes the sensor to allow the camera to do this advanced metering. And what happens is, first of all, the sensor is open, so if you forget it and you change your lens without switching the camera off, your sensor remains exposed. But what happens also is there's a considerable lag when you switch it on, because you have to wait till this curtain goes up, and then very often you will take a shot, and if you want to take another shot, there's a delay. There's a considerable delay, and that isn't really not very good, and it has nothing to do with the preview of the image. It's really due to this curtain going up and down, and you will have to wait. And sometimes if you want to take two quick shots one after the other, it will, you know, take this possibility from you. If you do go to continuous mode, it will take continuous pictures as long as you keep the shutter button pressed, but it does not measure between these shots. And if you release the shutter button, it will start measuring again, so it will go through this process of going up and down with the curtain. That is how I understood it, and this is a problem, because in street photography, for example, this is really not good, because you want to have the possibility to take two quick shots one after the other. So what took me a while to find out, that's why I'm telling you this, for certain types of photography, you really want to go into the menu and go out of this advanced light metering mode, because that is the one that will keep you from taking quick shots one after the other. I now switch to classic, and I leave the exposure metering in multi-field, even though I think that will not be active, be actually available in that mode. It doesn't say it's not available, but there's no logic behind it. And now if you see how it takes the shots, I take one shot, I take another shot, I take another shot, I take another shot. So they're really, and I'm in single mode, and between them it changes the light metering. Now it's not in focus, but the metering is correct. So this is one of the points that really confused me at the beginning, and that is not very good about this camera, because you want to have the advanced mode because it's really superior, but you really don't want this lag, because that's a really irritating thing, because if you know it's there and there's a reason for a lag to be there, but in this case it's really an issue because it keeps you from taking two consecutive shots at a faster pace. This is basically the only thing so far that I found out that I did not like. Yes, the camera is quite slow. For example, another thing, let me just quickly show you. You take a shot, and then you can zoom into the shot, but only one step. And if you want to move further, you have to wait till the whole picture is written to the card. That's logical in a certain way. Takes a while, actually takes a while. Okay, now it went. So it's a few seconds that you have to wait. It's logical in a certain way, but other camera manufacturers don't seem to have this problem. I'm using the same cards on this as I use them on other cameras, even with more megapixels, so that cannot be the problem. Maybe these issues can be addressed in firmware updates. I'm not sure about that, but these two things basically are the ones that make working with this Leica M-P not so easy. Still, for everything else, it's a fantastic camera, handles very well. There's nothing bad to say about it. I'm looking forward to showing you some sample pictures in the next few days. Too bad it has been raining here quite a lot, so I didn't have the opportunity to go out very much with the camera. The camera is weather sealed, but the lenses are not, so I don't want to push any limits there and risk some few $1,000 or euro lenses just for some sample pictures. I will make a separate video on that very soon, as the weather allows. So maybe if somebody has this camera or has experience with this camera and wants to correct my impressions if I'm doing something wrong, and that is absolutely possible, let me know. These are the little bugs that I did not like about it. For everything else, I'm really happy with the camera. So looking forward to showing you some more really soon, and have a great day. Bye-bye.